It says home plate. Represent the following pairs of numbers using piles and zero pairs. So we already had something similar last night, but today's going to be extra practice. However, it states what property or properties did you use to simplify. So you need to identify the properties, and we'll get to that in a little bit as soon as we get started. So for right now, copy these 10 problems. Yes. No. Finish the warm-up. You should be almost done. All right, here we go. Our objective for today, I can define and represent integers using integer tiles and zero pairs. Let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I can define and represent integers using integer tiles and zero pairs. So we're still on the same lesson that we started yesterday. I just want to make sure that we get the whole flow of the class. Today we're going to finish this lesson. Okay? However, look at the question. What is the concept for today? Tell your neighbor the concept for today. Integers and zero pairs. That is correct. And what are we doing with it? We're defining and representing. Okay, so we get that, right? Copy that objective at the bottom left of your Cornell notes. You should be already almost done. On my screen over here, I'm going to freeze it in case you haven't finished copying, and I'm going to forward your screen. Now, the main concept we're going to focus on is on integers, yes? So, fill in integers in your Freire model right there. Okay? Now check this out. What if this was a pop party and I said, without looking at your notes, fill in the Freire model. Give me the definition, 3 examples, 3 non-examples, and 3 hashtags. Do that right now, please, without looking at your notes. It's on your paper. I said, what if? Okay? Yes, you have to right now. So once again, give me a definition, 3 examples, 3 non-examples, and 3 hashtags. If you don't remember the definition, start with the examples and non-examples. Move to the hashtag, and hopefully that reminds you of what goes in the definition. I'll give you guys some time. Ready? Go. So for this one, identity property of addition, I'm going to send you a screen so you can send me the definition since we already filled out our Freire model. Here it goes. All right, so now we already finished reviewing the Freire model, which is the main concept. We already did the properties. We got that done. Copy this example, example 1. Copy it on your paper, please. Example 1. Underneath your Freire model, it fits there, right? Okay? And we're going to do this one together just to have a sample of what I want to see in your home plate when I'm asking you to use tiles. Okay? Even though yesterday I did elaborate on this, we're going to continue with it. Here we go. Ready? So I'm going to use colors. For negatives, I'm going to use red. For positives, I'm going to use green. So therefore, what is my first number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What is my second number? Positive 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I circle this because they are opposites and they make a zero pair. Therefore, this becomes 0. What property did I just use? Everyone. The additive inverse property. That is correct. So copy that. And now I'm going to send one to your screen. You don't have to copy it on paper. I just want you to do it on your screen and submit it. Okay? Here it goes. I'm going to send you this next one. I'm going to leave that one up there as a reference. And I'm going to send you this one. Lock your toolbar and just do it on the screen and submit. Ready, go. Okay. Look at your screen and look at the previous example, the one that I just did. What is the major difference from that one on the screen right now, on yours, and the previous example? Talk it over to your neighbor. What is the major difference? And don't worry about amounts. If you're thinking about amounts, oh, one of them is more than the other. No. Without worrying about amounts, what is the major difference from this one to the previous one? Volunteer. Yes. There's an equal sign on this one, but not on the previous one, right? Well, guess what? We are not in equations yet. We are in expressions. That's why I use an arrow. Everybody got that? So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to train your brain to think right now we're going to continue using real numbers, expressions, but until you see in the objective that it says that we're covering for the concept what? Equations, then you are using equal signs. But up to right now, we are not using equal signs. Therefore, what do I want you to do whenever your brain does this? I want you to do this. Look up. You see the arrow? Yeah, please start training your brain that when we're in expressions, there are no equal signs. Okay? All right, let's do one more. Underneath that one on your paper, I want you to write example Q. I'm sorry? No, underneath the example that you wrote before that. Okay, write example Q. Copy this. Let's do one more. Let's do -2 plus 2. Let's go a little bit faster on this one. What do we have? 1, 2 negatives. How many positives? 2. Therefore, identify the zero pair, and this becomes 0. What property did we use here? The additive inverse property. Yes? We'll get to that. Copy this one. Example mega Q. Here we go. 4 plus -1. Just copy that. Don't do anything else. I'm going to explain something here. Now, I know all of you are like, oh, I got this, Mr. Q. Yeah. But right now, I'm not focusing just on computation. I want to make sure that you identify the properties that we've learned. So write your utensils down. Look up to the screen. What is the first number we start with? 4. +4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is my second number? -1. So check this out. When I do this, is this a zero pair? What property did I use to get the zero pair? Additive inverse property. Are we there so far? Okay, so now watch. Next step. Don't write anything down. Just pay attention. I'm going to do a next step without doing the step. But there's a property that's being used. Watch. This becomes that. I just used a second property. You're like, I don't see it, Mr. Q. Let me show you. This is what? 0. What is this? And what did I get? Tell your neighbor the property that I just used here. Did everybody see it? This is the identity property of addition. Copy that, please. Yeah, and it's so subtle that if you don't really slow down and pay attention, you're going to miss some of the properties. Does that make sense? So as we go along, try and see if you can identify the properties as we move along these kind of problems. So once you do that, I want you to do one more by yourself. Example, Shazam Q. Let's do -5 plus, give me a number? 2. Do that one by yourself, please. Go. Make sure you show me with tiles and identify the properties used throughout. Okay? Go. All right, let's see. Volunteer, who can get me started with this one? Tanner. What did you start with? 5 negatives. 2 positives. 0 pair. What property is that? Additive inverse. And then 0 plus -3, and that gives me -3. What property did we use here, everyone? identity property of addition, so this simplifies to -3. Hands if you got this. Yes? All right. I'm going to send you one more screen so you can send me an emoji as to how you feel so far with this lesson. There it is. Should have it on your screen, a blank screen, yes? Draw me an emoji how you feel, and once you do that, submit, you can log off and put the iPad on the cart. And you have your home plate for tonight, yes? All right. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your home plate. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.